sharing with you in this video how to deal with uncertainty when creating your highest vision. I really believe that no matter which path we decide to take, no matter what we decide to do, no matter where we decide to go, no matter really ultimately what choice we decide to make, there's going to be, what you're going to be met with is a certain level of uncertainty. You don't know. A certain level of not knowing. A certain level of you're just not sure. You don't know. And so I think that this can be either a very scary thing or it can be a very empowering thing if you simply allow it to be the case. And so in this video, I'm going to be sharing with you how to navigate this uncertainty, this level of I'm not certain and I don't know, so that you can make it easier for yourself. And let's just get one thing out of the way. So the first thing that I do want to share with you in this video is to understand that ultimately speaking, nothing is certain. Nothing is certain. So everything has a certain level of uncertainty and not knowing. Everything has a certain level of uncertainty and not knowing, and that's okay. That's not a bad thing. That's something that we can use to actually ground the way that we make our decisions and the way that we move forward, in our life. It's not something that we need to see as bad, because uncertainty has always been the case. It's not that it's not been never the case, it's that we can begin to realize that it is the case, and then from there, simply take action towards what we value most in our life and what we care about, and then put ourselves in a position, of course, where we have the highest probability of achieving the result that we can get based on us just using our capacity to take the actions that we need to take in order to get what it is that we want in our life. And so it's not something that we need to really manipulate and control anything out there in the external world. It's more about controlling your own emotions, and not even necessarily controlling your own emotions sometimes, but conquering your emotions and becoming greater than your emotions. Your emotions don't need to control you. And so I believe that if we can walk through life with this idea in mind that everything has a certain level of uncertainty, and not see it as a bad thing, but see it as just the isness of what is the present moment, just what is the case, and then from there, think about how we prefer to see the situation. That's how we should think. How should you think in a given situation, really? Is there a correct or an incorrect way to think? Is there a bad or a good way to think? That's up for you to decide. That's your moral compass that we all have within us. But however, no matter, again, where you decide to go in your life, what moral compass you have, what you decide to do, what you try to analyze about the situation, uncertainty will be a reality. And so where's the good news? You might be thinking, so this sounds really, really negative. Where is really the positive aspect to this? So for me, what I find really powerful is to be comfortable. The second thing that I want to share with you in this video is to simply be comfortable taking action, not knowing, from a space of just not knowing. Because you can definitely make the best, the most logical decision, but essentially it's okay to not know. It's okay to not know. So of course we can weigh the pros and the cons of a situation. We can see the negatives, we can see the positives, we can do all this type of stuff, but we don't really need to be attached to knowing everything. Because there's going to be, again, a point in that situation where it's you don't know. But then to be a powerful decision maker, I think requires of us to just make a decision anyway. And just learn through that process. Some people that learn the fastest, I believe, are the people that are okay with this process of not knowing while they make choices. That takes true wisdom. A person with too much pride, too much arrogance, is going to be not okay with doing this. But if you're okay to take action and not know, still be aligned with, of course, your morals, your values, and your discipline and what you believe to be important in your life. Of course, all of these things are very important. But what I'm saying as well is that through that whole process, just be conscious, excuse me, be conscious of that part of you that really just doesn't know. Just doesn't know. Just be conscious of that part of you that just doesn't know. You don't know. You just be aware of it. It doesn't require any, it's not hard to do this. It's not difficult to do this. It's just awareness. You're just aware. And so if we can just take action through that whole part of us where we don't know really what is the true path, but just take the action, that's where you'll find the truest path for yourself, I believe to be the case. That's what I found in my life. Excuse me. And so lastly, what I want to share with you as well is that, of course, to a very large degree, security does come from seeing consistent results in your life. But seeing consistent results in your life, I think, comes from enough thought and action in a certain direction. Like, of course, if you put enough thought and action in a certain direction, you will really, really find security in that. Security through your self-trust, your ability to take action and trust yourself with who you say you're going to be, and do that again and again and again. You might find security in this. That's valid. That's a valid form of security, of course. You might find security and then seeing the fruits of that labor of consistent action taking over a long period of time. That's also valid as well. But just remember that anything at the end of the day, can just fall apart. It can all fall apart. It can all fall. And why can this be the case? So one example is whatever got you to where you are, to help you to get the results that you have in your life, you must continue acting the same way or in a very similar way. You can't change too much to help you to get the same results. Like, if you're going to drastically change some part of your life and expect to get the same results in your life, then don't be surprised. Really, you shouldn't be surprised. And if you are surprised, what happened is that, I think it's important to remember that we need to we don't have to, but it's a really powerful concept to be aware that too much drastic change all at once, it's a really, really bad thing to do. So that's what I believe can help us have more security, right? Is to be aware of these kind of things. That's what can build a lot more security. That's what can help us to have more security, is to start to believe in the concepts of discipline and excellence and consistency and aligned action with your intention and who you say you're going to be. But at the end of the day, I believe that if you want to be a person of discipline, if you want to be a person of excellence, if you want to be a person of consistency, if you want to be a person that is always taking action towards their vision on a consistent basis, I believe that to ground ourselves from a space of uncertainty, pairing this with a clear intention, is where we find the middle path, and we find ourselves creating what it is that we want in a very, very powerful way. Because we start to see that, again, no matter what path we take, of course, it's uncertain, but it doesn't mean that you don't have to have clear morals, clear values, clear decisions that you will not tolerate in your life, that you've already learned through taking lots of action, right? You're going to have a clear compass in your life, a clear compass of what is right and wrong. So I think that oftentimes we find ourselves in this sort of stagnation where we think that there's going to be some wrong choice that we can make. And of course, we're going to make mistakes.